I work at a bat sanctuary. There's something else in here with me. I work at a bat sanctuary. There's something else in here with me. I've loved animals for as long as I can remember. Cats, dogs, rabbits, and spiders, and snakes, and most of all, bats. I got made fun of a lot as a kid in school. Little girls are supposed to be afraid of gross things, but I wasn't. I picked up spiders and moved them away from kids who wanted to squish them. I looked for snakes in the tall grass and bats in the sky. To the other kids, I became one of the gross things. I begged my parents to take me to the zoo for my 13th birthday. I didn't want a party. I didn't have any friends to invite anyways. The animals were all the company I needed. The zoo had many exhibits. I loved them all, but none of them stuck with me like the bat house. The large building was entirely an indoor exhibit, dark with small hallways of glass on either side. Beyond the glass were sections of bats, all different types and sizes. I stopped in my tracks at the vampire bats. Fuzzy little mouse-sized creatures, arms bent back into wings, surrounding a bowl of blood, drinking it, engorging themselves on it. It dripped from their wrinkled faces, splattering onto their brown fur and onto the exhibit glass. I don't know how long I watched them drink. I was entranced. My parents had lost me in the summer crowds. How far back I wasn't sure. I had never realized they didn't enter the bat house with me. When they found me, they complained that we no longer had time to see the other animals and had to go home. But I didn't mind. From that day forward, bats became my obsession. They were so unique, disgusting, beautiful. I spent all my spare time studying them. In high school, I pined after a career involving them. But when you're poor, higher education is depressingly limited. I struggled to find even volunteer work. The few times I was lucky enough to land an interview, my social anxiety ruined everything. Until a new sanctuary opened. I had never heard of its construction or existence. It just popped up in my job search feed one day. It wasn't accredited. That was a red flag. It didn't seem to have any association with any actual conservation programs. I guess it was just a rich dude's personal collection or charity effort or something. I should have been suspicious. And I was. Until I saw no experience needed. And the pay rate. And the benefits. I applied. And somehow I heard back. Within the same day, actually. I had a phone interview with a cheery woman who wasn't fazed by my anxiety, my overeagerness, or my slight stuttering. She said I was the perfect candidate for the role. I still wasn't quite sure what the role was, but it didn't matter to me. The woman said I just need to send more personal details to be on board. My bank details, a drug test, a blood test. The job was out of state, but there was nothing left for me here anyways. I booked some rides, and when my money ran out, I hitchhiked the rest of the way. I had to provide my information at a security gate just to enter the sanctuary's private property. There were multiple buildings being constructed still, but the main entrance was complete. It was breathtaking, a towering structure of pure Gothic architecture. Around and beyond it, ridiculously large stone walls obscuring the property beyond. Inside was like a castle, dark and beautiful, with spiraling stairs that led to many rooms. I couldn't believe it. I'd get to live here on site and get paid? Now I know it was too good to be true. Exiting the building led me straight into the sanctuary. It was like stepping into a real rainforest, full of towering trees and exotic greenery. It was so natural, much more natural than the exhibit at the zoo. Except, I guess, for the stone walls I'd seen. Thick steel fencing covered every inch of it, all the way up to the sky and back around in one huge arch. I guess for their own good, the bats needed contained somehow. This was purely a vampire bat sanctuary, I found out. A dream come true, or so I thought. But washing and filling their bowls, often giant stone vases with elaborate designs, was harder than I thought it'd be. The blood didn't bother me from a distance, but up close it stank. A strong, sharp smell, like old pennies in a rotten pond. It splashed on my clothes and body when cleaning. In the humidity of the gardens, I wiped sweat from my brow a few times, accidentally smearing blood on my face along with sweaty gnats and bugs. No matter how much I washed my hands, I could never get it all out from under my nails. My fingers were permanently stained a reddish-brown, crusted with blood. Seeing the bats up close made it all worth it. This was all for them. I reminded myself how lucky I was to be a part of it. But things started to get weird a few days in. Maybe the thrill is wearing off now. Maybe I'm going crazy from all the work on my shoulders. None of the other girls ever seemed to work. To be honest, they all seem like total bitches, and it hasn't gone unnoticed how they laugh behind my back. I've been pulling double duty and working late into the night. There's always something to be done, between caring for the bats and general maintenance of the garden's grounds. But there's something else in here with me. Sometimes I hear scuttling almost, the fence wires shaking around, like something is bumping into them, climbing on them. The bats are way too small to make noise like that, and they prefer the trees anyways. In the past 3 days, at least once per night, I've had blood drip onto my head from high up. Very high up, judging by how heavy the drop feels. It's warm, fresh. It's different from the blood I put out for the bats. And it's not just a drop, like a spot of rain. It's thicker, like a long strand of spit or snot. When I look up, I never see anything above me. I thought I was just being paranoid. But I kept seeing things in the corners of my eyes. Sometimes still, sometimes darting around. Sometimes crawling around in the trees and on the fencing. Always gone before my vision catches up to them. They aren't dark blobs like the kind people say they see when their eyes play tricks on them. Honest to God, they look like people. I need help. It's 2:45 a.m. An hour ago, I was finishing up my shift when I realized I can't open the door to the main building. My keys are missing from my hip. I've retraced all my steps and I can't find where I dropped them. I don't remember even hearing them drop. The stupid door is locked and no one responded to my banging. Hell, I don't even know if anyone could hear my banging. I went back to retracing my steps, but then the pathway lights went out. All of them, all at once. I tried finding my way back to the main building door. At least I would know where I was. But it's so dark. I just kept running into trees and giant tropical leaves. The air is wrong tonight. Quiet. The kind of quiet darkness that swallows you up. I felt like I shouldn't even move, like something bad would happen if I did. I should have listened to that feeling. I heard the scuttling again. Louder, faster, closer. Then the blood dripped onto me, more than it ever had. It didn't stop. I took my phone out of my pocket. 7% battery life. The brightness of the screen lit up my surroundings, just enough to see the puddle of blood beside me. Still dripping. I turned the flashlight setting on and followed the drip upwards. I don't know how to describe what I saw. It was too much, too fast. A face, pink and fleshy, wrinkled and folded. A gaping nose and a gaping maw of teeth. Ugly, bloodied, bat-like. A body, hulking like a giant bald ape. Not a man, but something similar. Crawling on the fencing arch, holding on with the thick claws of its fingers and toes. It flinched from the light and looked right at me. I bolted. I scrambled through the garden, using my phone to light the way to the door. I banged on the door and screamed. The most noise I've ever made in my life, but no one heard me. How the hell did no one hear me? I'm hunkered down between the entrance and a large tree. It's not much cover. I don't know if it will hide me or for how long. I tried calling the police, but the operator just kept telling me to calm down. They said they would send someone out, but I don't think they understand me. My flashlight shut off. The battery is too low for it to run. I can hear footsteps on the pathway. Something is whispering my name now. A man's voice, calm and even, raspy and wet, singing my name over and over, like I'm some lost pet. The footsteps are closer now. Stop hiding. The voice says, I just want a taste. Please, God. What do I do now? My phone is at 1%. Please, someone help me get out of here.